So recession can mean a lot of things for a lot of people, but most importantly, how it's going to impact your bottom line. And we're really focused on things such as your employment, right? If there's unemployment risks that continue in certain industries, obviously we're seeing more impact than others. And how you're going to prepare, most importantly, you and your family, how you're going to make sure that you get your bills paid going forward, making sure you have shelter, and getting those most important expenses cared for. First thing you want to do is to really find order in your financial life. So many times we're stressed out, we don't even know where to start. And so I always say, stop, drop, and take a moment to breathe. This is really important. You want to find out where you stand financially, and the best thing to do is assess that. Take a look at all your financial statements. This is actually very similar to when you file for taxes, right? Your accountant will ask you for all this documentation. You sort of want to do the same thing. You want to go through that process, finding out where your retirement assets are, where your savings, your checkings, and also very importantly is to go through the process of figuring out your budget. How much of your money do you have going out, and where is your money going out to? So when you're looking at your spending right now, the areas that you definitely want to prioritize are going to be number one, shelter, right? Either your rent or your mortgage, that has to be paid, as well as your utilities to be able to continue your standard of living. And from there, you're talking about groceries and you're talking about medication. A lot of the other things can definitely be sort of that next secondary level that if you're able to pay would be great. But definitely over communicate with people in your lives that you might owe money to. So for example, if you still have credit card debt, reach out to them. If you have student debt, same thing. What you want to do right now is over communicate with people that you might owe money to and see where you can find some relief. Right? Let's say you're still younger, maybe you're in your 20s or 30s and you're looking to retire maybe in 60s and beyond. You've got plenty of investment time horizon. That's a plus. The second thing is, do you have income? If you still have income consistently coming in, and you're pretty confident you're not going to lose your job and that flow of income in the short term, then this is opportunities for you again to save for your future retirement needs. And don't forget, some of us have younger children at home, and so you haven't maybe set aside enough for their college savings. This is also a great opportunity. But things to keep in mind, I wouldn't overdo it right now. I think the key thing is to be slow and steady. Think about ways that you can consistently save. So the question oftentimes we get asked is, how much should we have in an emergency fund? Now, typically, the average American should have about 6 months in residual savings in their emergency fund. Now, I know that's a big number, but that's something to definitely strive towards. But how much is 1 month even? So you want to go through that budget exercise of figuring out how much you spend on average on any given month. I would do this exercise over the next 4 months, and then do an average, and then once you get that average number, multiply it by 6. Now, understanding if you have children, I would allocate at least an additional 3 months per child. And if you're a married couple, then 2 of you should have at least 6 months of living expenses. So one of the strategies that you can take is if you have maybe dual income, or if you have one person that has a very consistent income, you could even consider putting some of this emergency money into a Roth IRA. The advantage of doing that is then you're saving money for a future retirement need, but in case you do need your money, you can actually tap a Roth IRA. Your contributions can be tapped. You can withdraw the contributions, no taxes and no penalties, just in case of an emergency. So that sort of solves your problem of not having so much money to do 2 things. In most cases, you might not need to use this money. You might have enough coming in, so then it can serve as retirement, but just in case you have that distribution option.
Invest in you. Ready, set, grow. CNBC and Acorns.